So we finally have with us today Coach Checkett, Andrew Checkett, UCSB, University, California, Santa Barbara. This was his 9th season as the skipper of the Gauchos, who compete in the Big West, and he's led them to a mark of 289 wins, 180 losses, 3 ties, and was named 2019 Big West Coach of the Year. Great achievement, great honor. Happy to have you with us today. Chex, how are you?
I'm doing great, BK. Yeah, good to see you.
How could you not be doing great in the American Riviera of Santa Barbara up there?
I know it's hard to complain.
You got the San Ynez Mountains and wine country on one side, and you got surf and sand on the other. What a great place to be.
I thought about going out to the beach and doing this, but I didn't want to hurt your feelings. I know how you feel about getting out on the water. So
they opened most of them up now, so I feel better about my life. So all right, so let's keep rolling here. So I've known you since 2002. You coached me at UC Riverside. Let's give some people some background on you. So you were the Oregon Player of the Year in high school in 1994. You go on to play at Oregon State and have an incredible career as a pitcher. You get drafted by the Red Sox in '98, and then start coaching, right? So I think you were at Riverside City College first, so you know about JUCOs. You show up at UCR, and I'm like, wow, this guy is like a year older than me. And within a day, I'm like, yeah, like we were the same age. And so like immediately I saw a guy that was different from all the other pitching coaches that I'd ever had. Attention to detail, work ethic, always an even keel. A lot of knowledge, good rapport with the guys. I knew you were destined for something special. So during your time at UCR in Oregon, you've had 36 pitchers get drafted or sign pro contracts, 9 guys in 3 years at Oregon, a bunch in the big leagues. And then, boom, you're at UCSB as the head coach. So how pumped are you to be at UCSB? Tell us a little bit about that story.
Yeah, it's an amazing place. It was a great opportunity, and we've had some work to do from the get-go. But you just, you talk about a place to live, and I mean, we're right down the road from each other, and a great opportunity. And we've got a lot of built-in resources, and maybe we're a little bit resource poor in terms of the facility and some of those things from the get-go. We've been able to make a lot of strides with that, but we've been resource rich in terms of academics and location and weather and proximity to players, and we've got a lot of things to offer kids to come here. That degree, a top 10 public institution degree. So it's I'd always known from a distance, having coached at Riverside and played a little bit down here as a player, what a special place it was. And you don't really know until you live here and you get to experience it every day. And it's a hard place to ever imagine leaving, and it's been a great place for my family. And it's been a great place to, start working on building the baseball program. And we've had a lot of really good players that have run through the last 9 years that have done a good job and put a lot of wins up on the board. And ultimately, the reality is that it really starts with players and having good players and guys that can make adjustments and guys that are willing to work. And we're fortunate to be in a place that attracts, a lot of people. I think we had, not over 90,000 applications to the school last year, and that's pretty consistent, anywhere between 80 to 100,000 applications for kids to want to come to school here. So the foundation's always been good, and we feel like we've had good players and good coaches, and they'll kind of build on that.
Yeah, well, that's for sure. I mean, known as a great evaluator of talent and a great recruiting guy. I mean, it started a long time ago. UCR followed you to Oregon and then to UC Santa Barbara. Your first year there, I think you set the record for the school for like rookie coach of the year with the most wins of any rookie coach there. So it started right away. In your first class bringing guys in, you bring in a kid by the name of Dylan Tate, who ended up being, I think, the 4th round pick overall. So, you know the guys to bring in. It's a great place to be. Kids want to play baseball there. What do you look for in a Gaucho player? What makes a kid that's going to excel on a Checkett's team?
Yeah, it's those players have been a team effort for a lot of assistant coaches that have been out there working for us over the years and have worked hard on that. So it's not all me or all my eye. It takes a lot of guys out there evaluating and we're trying to find guys that are competitive. The pitching side of it, I love strike throwers. I think guys that are athletic, have some feel for what they're doing, some projection in the body. We've had some success with being able to add velocity and improve secondary stuff. And I think there's some things that we feel like we can teach and some things that we feel like maybe we can't teach. And we try to avoid, recruiting guys that maybe, don't do some of the things that we feel like we can't teach. And for me, a lot of that has to do with the strike throwing side of things, creating feel and having the ability to miss where you want to miss and do some of the things you have to do as a pitcher. Takes time, and it takes time to get there. And so we're always looking for guys that are elite strike throwers and have the ability to progress and get better and get bigger and stronger and feel like we can add some velocity to them. And that's when you end up with some special guys like, Dylan Tate and Shane Bieber and Justin Hockman and some of the other guys that came in as guys that really had the ability to pound the strike zone.
I'm with you on that. So in like the 7 or 8 years you've been at UCSB, you've pretty much set them on the map. And I think the people the kids who play there expect to be in a regional every year and on the road to Omaha. Like, you've set that standard, and that is just kind of what it is every year. I think you've already been to 4 NCAA tournament appearances, and then that one unbelievable magical year in 2016 when you guys roll out to, was it Vandy? You think you went to go win? Yeah, Vandy, right?
Yep, Vandy, and then
you go to Vandy and then Louisville and end up in the World Series. I mean, little Santa Barbara, sleepy little surf town. Here you go. You've turned this into a baseball, powerhouse out there. So tell us a little bit about that.
Which part of it? The playoffs?
Well, yeah, I want to know, dude, tell us a little bit about that trip that summer in 2016, that spring.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact amount of days, but it was somewhere around 22, 23 days in a row that we were on the road, and I hadn't packed for that. We went to Vandy, and I think they were ranked. I don't know if they were ranked number 1 or 2, or it was one of their top 5 teams in the country. And so I didn't pack for a long trip. I had 4 days worth of clothes, and I think everybody else had the same thing. And then after we won, we bussed straight to Louisville, took our finals in Louisville, and then played. And so I think for those kids, that was a magical experience. I know it was from a coaching perspective to be on the road for 23 straight days, take finals. The guys nailed their finals. They played really well. We had a lot of fun. It was, we were doing laundry every 4 days and buying new underwear and, all that stuff. And then we go straight from Louisville to Omaha, and it really was magical and fun and motivating. It was my first opportunity to be there. We talked about it a lot, and talked about it a lot as a program with the kids. That was the goal, but to actually get there, you got to have the stars aligned for you. You've got to have players. We had some guys, it's some magical homers, and the foundation of that group was pitching and defense and some power. And so the guys really played well, and I'm hoping to get an opportunity to take another team back there. That was sure special.
And so like right now, this season, you guys were rolling again. I mean, the expectations are set. You're a team that wants to go to Omaha every single year, and kids want to play there for you. So 13-2 this year. You guys took down number 1 ranked UCLA at UCLA, swept number 25 Oregon State. You won all your series, and then boom, season's over. So what's the message to your players? How do you continue to motivate them through the off season and roll into 21 stronger and hungrier than you were this year?
Yeah, the group reminded me a lot of that 16 group. That 16 group that went to the World Series the year before. We hosted a regional at Lake Elsinore and had 10 guys drafted off that team, and Tate was the 4th pick in the draft. And so we had lost the majority of our players, our starting lineup, 3 of our 4 guys in our starting rotation. So going into 16, we really didn't know what to expect, and the expectations weren't super high. We stumbled a little bit down the road, but the guys ended up playing well and make it into the World Series. And this team felt similar. We lost 10 guys to the draft from the 19 team that was special, won that Big West title. That was the first one in 33 years. But going into this year, it was start over with the rotation, a lot of new players on the field, position player wise. So I didn't really know what to expect with the group, and they came out and played really well. They pitched it, threw a ton of strikes early on, a lot of swing and miss stuff. Guys were making clutch pitches. We played good defense. We had timely offense. And that week with the UCLA and Oregon State, which was really our most challenging point of the year up to that point in the schedule, to go 4-0 wasn't quite expected. UCLA hadn't lost yet, and anytime you got to go to Corvallis, that can be challenging. So that felt like a defining moment for the team, and we had some momentum, and you could see their identity and personality starting to be created. And when it got cut short, everybody was really disappointed. And obviously we've got big things going on with the virus and people's health and safety, and I think everybody's really understanding of that. But we were also really disappointed that we didn't get a chance to continue to move on as a group. And I think that's been motivating for the guys. I think some of the guys that we expected to have some guys drafted, and with the changes to the draft, some of those guys may get pushed out of the draft situation and fall into that undrafted free agent contract, that $20,000 maximum. And I think that makes it a little bit tougher for those guys maybe to jump at that when they know they've had a special thing going and feel like there's enough guys coming back to maybe do something special again next year.
Okay, so before I forget, real quick, let's just hit on so California. So I just saw this morning Cal State schools bang their fall, or they're thinking about banging fall. Like, wait, is there talk in the UC system about that yet, or no?
Yeah, we had a meeting this morning, and I think a lot of it is just preparing to be online. I still think that that's the worst case scenario, even for the Cal States. I didn't follow it super closely, but what I was hearing this morning from our administrators is that they want to make sure that they can teach well and do that online, and they don't want to late and all of a sudden scramble to do that. So I think for us, it's how are we prepared to do that if that's the worst case scenario? But ultimately, there's some revenue that people not being in dorms, and I think for our school in particular, we just built a bunch of new dorms, and I'm sure there's debt payments on that. So they're trying to do everything they can to get kids on campus and kids in the dorms. And so I think they're going to wait as long as they can and feel comfortable with to be able to make that decision. And hopefully we'll try some kind of hybrid opening. I'm not in the circle of trust regarding that stuff, so I'm not getting a ton of information that everybody else isn't getting on social media. But from what I am piecing together, I think people want to try and find a way to get students on campus, and whether even that's a hybrid opening, I think they want to have the ability to do that, and then also hedge their bets a little bit and be ready to teach virtually.
Got it. All right, so Isla Vista, UC Santa Barbara. Let's talk about your campus and the school real quick. So, beautiful place. You got the beach there. It's a great place to live. Tell the kids out there, like, what is a day in the life of a Gaucho baseball player, and how do they stay focused with so many distractions?
Yeah, there's some stuff going on. There's some stuff going on, and IV's a small area with a lot of students, and there's a lot of action going on there. And I think the college experience for our guys is pretty special. When you're talking about, there's very few places, and Pepperone's got a nice view, but there's very few places where you can walk out of your dorm room and put your feet in the sand. And in our particular school, you can do that. There's a lot of the dorms that are on the water, and you've got somewhere to hose off your surfboard and walk right down there. So, keeping our guys focused on baseball and school and baseball is important. And I think there are some challenges because of the academics, and because it's such a competitive school academically. Our guys need to be able to focus on that, and we've got a lot of structure set up to keep them focused there. And then if they want to be elite baseball players, I tell them this all the time. I said, you got to make choices. You can't do it all. You can't burn the candle at both ends and expect to get your dreams achieved on the baseball field. You've got to sacrifice, and you've got to make decisions, and you've got to make decisions on what's important to you. And if you're going to stand here and tell me that, hey, I want to be a Major League Baseball player, and then not make good decisions off the field, I don't think you're being realistic. So that's the message I send with them: is prioritize your life, prioritize what's important to you. Baseball and academics and baseball, those are two things that are really important, and make sure that those come first. And then my other goal is that they're so tired at the end of the day, all they want to do is sleep.
Yeah. I commend you for putting a great team on that field every year up there, man, because it's, you got to keep the kids motivated and the priorities straight. So it goes back to your recruiting once again. Like, you're bringing in the right kids who all have the same mindset as you, and that's getting to Omaha, whatever means necessary.
Yeah, and the professional baseball development's a carrot for all of those kids. They've got that dream and they want to do that. And I think I tell them all on the first day when they get there. I say, how many guys turned down over $1 million to come to school, and nobody raises their hands. And I said, well, there's 30 guys that signed for over $1 million or more than that in professional baseball, and they're playing right now, and you got to catch them. So you're going to have to be on a mission and make some decisions that allow you to get there. And how are you going to catch that guy that already signed for $1 million? If you're Shane Bieber and you're coming in as a walk-on, how do you catch that guy so that you can be a weekend or a rotation pitcher for the Indians? And it takes a lot of discipline and a lot of hard work, and they've got to be able to sacrifice and delay gratification and do all that stuff if that's truly what they want. And that they have to make that decision.
Got it. All right, let's do a couple fun questions to kind of end this thing here. So, one, best breakfast burrito in town?
Super Cucas.
Okay,
chicken
easy.
Breakfast burrito. Yeah. You walk
there you go.
The stadium.
Big breakfast burrito town up there. And then lastly, who are a couple of the most fun guys that you've coached over the years who've ended up making it to the big leagues? And you've had quite a few.
Most fun coaching?
Well, like, I don't know, some guys that you still talk to. Or is it all of them?
Yeah, I check in with a lot of them. I've really enjoyed following Joe Kelly's career, having the opportunity to see him convert at Riverside and what he's done in professional baseball, and his personality. He's got this personality. He's kind of fearless, and he was always like that. And so to see that on a huge stage of Major League Baseball has been fun, and watching him throw that ball through the window the other day was fun. So I don't know if you saw that.
I saw that. The change piece through the window. Yeah.
Yeah, he can afford to do that now. So that's not as painful for maybe some of those other guys that just got to the big leagues. So, but yeah, he's fun. And, obviously we're all proud of Shane Bieber this year and what he's been able to do, and flying the flag for our program and university, and making the All-Star game and being the All-Star game MVP and getting.
That's awesome.
So, and for him, he was a walk-on, so a non-scholarship player, and to see somebody do that's really rewarding and fun, and we're proud of him.
That's cool stuff. That speaks to the development they get when kids come to your program. Like, you're developing players and making them great. All right, so last thing, your stadium up there, Caesar Uyesaka Stadium, like, anything going on up there? It's a beautiful place to play. Really cool visuals underneath the stands. You can be at the field level from right behind the plate. Anything new up there?
Yeah, we chipped away. We put lights in this year. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Cool.
I don't think we played the night game when you came up. So
no,
that's been a long process. It was a $1.6 million project. It's been they've been talking about it for 30 years here, and just a lot of hoops and a lot of things that you had to run through, even besides getting the money. So being able to do that was a big accomplishment for our program, and I feel like that's one of the first major dominoes to be able to build that fan base that we want to be able to build.
Cool. Well, hey, man, you've done a great job up there. I think you've made the Gaucho Nation extremely proud. The baseball team you've built is awesome. We're proud and pumped to have you on Team Easton with us. You're the man, Chex.
Well, thanks for having me on, BK. And we really appreciate all that Easton does for us. You guys got a great team, and you've been with us the whole time that we've been here, all 9 years. And our guys love the product and feel like we've been a really good team. So thanks for all your support.
You got it, my man. Go take a walk on the beach. Do a little yoga.
I already did it.
All right, Chex, checking out. See you, man.
See you.